our modeling, in fact, suggests that crude oil production from Bakken might decline in the next 5 years or so. So I'm curious how you think about that.
Yeah, so we just made a pretty large investment in the Bakken. We bought Oasis Midstream. It was a publicly traded company also for $1.8 billion. So we do believe the Bakken will continue to expand, but I think the productivity declines in the wells is going to be hard to offset. The basin will expand to the north and west, and what you're seeing as an emerging trend is 3-mile laterals, and that will be 4-mile laterals here soon enough. That sort of technology improvement, I think over 50% of the permits last year were 3-mile laterals. It's going to help lower break-evens and really bring some capital into the basin. And so consolidation, upstream consolidation kind of leads to that, and there has been a good bit of that in the play. And there's been, what you're seeing is the upstream side really play well together and swap acreage to make those 3-mile laterals happen, which typically you see a lot of turf defending, but in a mature basin, there's no turf to defend anymore. It's kind of well defined. It is what it is, and you're trying to optimize capital in a unit. So, and that's for everyone's benefit, right? Those dollars are real dollars. So, I see the Bakken continuing, and I think that 3-mile lateral facet in all the public reports I see is very, light touch, underreported. And our activity with our customers, the majority of our 2023 and 2024 activity is all 3-mile laterals. And you don't see any blurb about that anywhere, really. And most of the economics are done on 10,000-foot laterals. So I think you're right. The Bakken's going to have a hard time growing. I think it'll stay flat, but we're good with that because we're building infrastructure where it's not today because the basin's expanding and you're getting a new set of inventory that we haven't seen in the past. As we shift to the Permian, I think Permian's pretty well understood, but one of the things that we also recently did within the last year, both of these, is bought Sendero Midstream. Sendero Midstream was a private company, private equity backed. Essentially, we bought the entire company, so the leadership essentially went and they're actually starting another private equity-backed company. Their non-compete has run out, but I think the northern Delaware and New Mexico is not as well understood. It is growing north and west faster than you can appreciate. So I think the Delaware side of the basin has a lot of legs left yet. And we're seeing those well results come in, and they're pretty impressive.
Okay.
They're not what you see in Lee County at the state line, which are monster wells, but they're very good wells. In a good crude environment, they work all day today, even with where gas prices are. So I think still the Delaware side of the Permian has a lot of growth left, in particular in New Mexico. And I would imagine the same thing on the Texas side. We go as far south as Ward County in Texas. We've got a producer behind us that's a University Lands, a pretty big University Lands producer. And we think it'll continue to move to the more what they call fringe now. Fringe is not going to be fringe. Technology will make it not fringe. And that always happens, right? We see that time and time again. What people underestimate, people find ways to make it happen.